no drinking. Just me, Jim, and God, man. We're focused. And you know what? That's all that matters right now.
Presumably not by trade. Just myself, no drinking. We're focused, Jim and Godman, and that's all that matters at the moment. A video of Gervonta Davis's rigorous training and preparation for his March 1st fight against Lamont Roach was recently made public by Prime TV. As everyone knows, Gervonta tanked ahead of his bout in 2 months. Davis has a new look, but the recently made public video from Prime TV only demonstrated how the Baltimore native is using new training methods to guarantee a third victory over Lamont Roach.
What your balance felt like?
What your balance felt like, fans were eager to question why he's going so hard despite this not being one of the toughest fights of his career. Definitely his fights against Ryan Garcia and Isaac Cruz presented him tougher opponents than this, but he seems to be doing more than he's ever done. Done this time well. It could be because it's his last year in boxing, based on his announcement last month, and he probably wants to give it his very best. And leave the sport on a high when the ovation is loudest. The video showed Tank doing some body exercises, stretches, and push-ups. The lightweight world champion has missed weight quite a few times during the course of his career. And to avoid what happened in his last fight, where he had to miss his grand arrival because he was on the road jogging and making attempts to make weight, after his body exercises, the world champion got on the Miz, and punching bag testing his punch power afterwards, he engaged in some sparring with an unknown sparring partner before taking short break. He then looked to get camera, and then taking it all out on March 1st, according to Boxing News 24 Divana. In a conversation for The Lab, promoter Leonard Elb stated that he understood that Davis is already working on his fitness and is nearly ready to start the road to retirement and his title defense. Blaz, I can relate to what's happening. Having children completely changes your life. And he views things differently now than he did 6 or 7 years ago, if that's what he said when he announced his retirement and we all heard it. Regarding Dance's announcement of retirement, Leonard L. added that life is so much more than just what you do for a living. You respect the people who pay to watch you fight, but you have a life outside of boxing. They want you to continue doing this and don't really care about your health in the long run. According to Herb, boxing is a cruel sport where many former boxers have suffered from various forms of abuse and health issues. Everyone has different opinions and different life goals, and after days of confusion, the March 1st showdown between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. is back on track on January 5th. They experienced numerous health issues and permanent things. I understand the philosophy that you get into the sport, leave your mark, and then leave it there. Despite their misgivings, the fans were thrilled to see the Baltimore native. But Davis startled everyone by announcing on his Instagram story that the much-anticipated fight would not be happening. Touch-up in action. It appears that things are back on track, as the two went back and forth online to hype up the fight, but it doesn't appear that the WBA lightweight champion enjoys such altercations. Presumably, the PBC has already postponed the upcoming fight twice, and since Tank has declared 2025 to be his final year in boxing, a cancellation would hurt the fans. Prior to the bout, Tank and Roach had engaged in a few online arguments. This time, the WBA super featherweight champion made a lighthearted jab at the 30-year-old boxer on his Instagram story.
One time, but touch it up. Touch him up. Something nice. Touch him up, something nice. Touch him up, something nice.
Always supposed to.
Speaking of other division title holders, we know you were close to Shakur Stevenson's rival, who posted a selfie of himself with the caption, "Now to the gym, man. You're cool like how you're cool." Claiming that while Gervonta Davis focuses on worthless stunts online, he will be busy training Tank, did not let it pass as he reposted Reaper's story and wrote, "Laugh now, your son is going to be crying later," issuing a warning that the Washington native will regret talking like this on March 1st. Tank got a little personal and wrote, "And you better not be over there freaking pretty girl, because you know what, the crowd leaves what's right behind them." As the argument went on, the women's slights against the 29-year-old became a little more personal and vexing, and Roach responded with another selfie with the following caption.
Roach,
No, not yet. I'm just trying to focus on him right now. And then once we get him out the way, then we can,
Speaking of other title holders in the division, we know you were close to the Lomachenko fight. Shakur Stevenson
fighting. What are your thoughts on that fight? Do you have any predictions about how that fight will turn out? Don't care. We know you're back at it again. I'm working, so don't worry about those little angels. Tank should concentrate on his training instead of this online feud. Additionally, it appears that even Gervonta Davis regrets getting into this online altercation, as he later took to his ex to express his grief over the turn of events. The Baltimore native posted a confession on his ex, expressing extreme remorse, saying, "I'm a low-key type E of guy, and this being in the public eye is killing me." Fam Tank stated that he is really uncomfortable and hardly ever participates in these internet conflicts.
What are your thoughts on that fight?
No thoughts.
Do you have a prediction on how that fight would play out?
Don't care.
We know that you got off of Twitter.
We are aware that you watched the Netflix event with interest. Paul versus Tyson. What do you think? Is Jake Paul someone you'd want to fight at one point? The 30-year-old boxer also admitted, "I'm not chasing any image at all, nor a female IB Gucci away from this stuff." He said he doesn't want any fame, that he is happy with his life and family, and that he keeps his desire at bay. Tank's most recent admission is similar to his retirement announcement, in which he stated that he began to despise the sport and wanted to spend time with his family after the following year, said Tank when he declared his retirement. But the Baltimore native is focused on the battle and has put all of his worries about the impending fight at the Barclays Center aside. He was even seen sporting a new ponytail style. Although fans are happy about the renewed ferocity of the online feud, many would prefer that Davis respond to all of the venom in the ring, as he has done throughout his career.
We know that you were an interested observer on the Netflix event, Paul versus Tyson. Your thoughts, is Jake Paul someone you'd want to take on at one point?
Yeah.
Beliefs to not start out slowly either, to keep him from seeing my hand __ and to wait to watch who wins these initial __ rounds, because I won't give you any of my hand __ and. Like you, I'm going to risk my dick today by hand __ the first 3 rounds. I promise you that when it comes to hitting this game, only the first 3 rounds. When you take into account that both fighters are world champions, but they compete in different weight classes. So even though they are world champions, the fight isn't a unified world title fight. However, Lamont Roach, as a world champion, brings something very different that nearly all of Gervonta Davis's recent opponents lack: his size. Davis is used to fighting bigger fighters, who, for the sake of a title shot and a huge payday, carelessly lose weight before the fight and end up putting on poor performances. However, Lamont Roach will be moving up in weight to the $135 a month pay rate of the lightweight division, where he currently competes.
Needs to not to just start slow too, and not let him see my shit, and just see who's gonna win these first bullshit rounds, because I'm not gonna give you none of my shit. I'm gonna put my dick on the line today. I'm gonna bullshit the first 3 rounds just like you, man.
Actual fake noises. Do you hate your brother every time you see him? Do you know how you speak? Do you know how you speak? Are you referring to Mo? I truly am him. I put smoke of any kind in my path. I am the fake noise. Are you saying that since I am him, Lamont Roach should appear better than Frank Martin in the ring on fight nights? The boxing world is usually on edge as they wait to see what Gervonta Davis will do next. But this time around, fans were very disappointed when Tank was announced to be fighting Lamont Roach in December. Tank is a fine fighter, but he isn't a high-profile name and doesn't have many big wins. Ryan Garcia and many of Gervonta Davis's recent opponents looked like they were on a rehydration clause when they went up against Lamont Roach. Tank wants to fight Shakur Stevenson, Vasyl Lomachenko, or even Devin Haney. Of course, it's never easy to figure out the specifics of such a big match.
Fake nigga, fuck is you hating for, bro? Every time you see me, it's what up, shawty, is that, you know how you talk. Fuck is you talking about, bro? I'm really him. I bring any type of smoke to anything in my way. Fuck is you talking about? I am him.
Here, man, what did you say to yourself when you saw the card? I mean, I probably considered that thing, but a lot of fans are beginning to believe that Davis is currently cruising and choosing not to take too many chances after being called out on it by a social media user. Davis had to defend himself. In response to a post that questioned out loud whether 2025 would mark the year when Davis finally takes on reputable names, Davis A fan sprang to Tank's defense when the post questioned Davis's age and the opponents listed on his resume, stating that his victories over Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin, Isaac Cruz, and Jose Pedraza were all legitimate, particularly given how he won previous bouts. Davis concurred with his fans' subtle jabs at some of his former opponents, such as Devin Haney, who faced Garcia after Davis had demolished him, and Rolly Romero.
Man, what did you say to yourself? You had to say something to yourself when you seen the card.
I mean, I probably thought about, the fact that...
Who faced Cruz after being tank beaten. Davis is aware that he has faced several outstanding fighters. TW, you know what I mean when I say that. It will be a really fascinating fight because in a recent post on his Instagram account, Roach said, it's from the amateur silver gloves, everything they grew up actually together, roaching him back fourth battles and whatnot. Davis posted a picture of himself celebrating his victory over Martin after knocking him out. The picture shows his opponent lying on the canvas, and the champion captioned it, December Houston #1, long live baby. Since their fight was announced in late September, Davis and Roach have been engaged in a verbal battle, and Frank's obvious deception about their upcoming fight is the most recent development.
From the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach...
He always shows up for the fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everyone is talking about why Roach signed and took the fight. But you get what I mean, and it's excellent.
Always, he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good